Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for this video today. My name is David and I make these videos to hopefully help you guys heal from your traumas. Today's video is about narcissistic family, false narratives they create, and scapegoating you. I've been asked many questions about this, especially lately, and I've made many other videos about this. If you guys are interested in watching more, you should be able to find them in a playlist I made called Healing c-ptsd. Talk a lot about family, narcissistic family. So, before I start today, I would really appreciate it. For those of you who have not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Just hit that little button down there, and it really supports what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Also, you could vote up or down on the video. Go down below, comment, ask me a question. I'll always answer your questions. Thank you. So, like I said, I talk a lot about narcissistic family. A lot. You can watch other videos that I've made about it, so I'm not going to dive totally into like the narcissistic family dynamics. I am going to talk about scapegoating. But there's so much more, so much more to talk about, to tell you guys, for you guys to learn, and learning this stuff really does help heal from other kinds of emotional trauma in your life. Understanding really alleviates a lot of shame that we might carry from this, and it really opens the opportunity to have healthy relationships from now on by coming to terms with your past and understanding it. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know how I feel. My opinion is the reason we find ourselves in these narcissistic relationships in adulthood is because of our childhood, because of narcissistic family, narcissistic parenting, narcissistic caretakers. I'm not calling anyone a narcissist. I'm not saying anybody has to have narcissistic personality disorder per se, but it is narcissistic parenting. And I'm not trying to tell anybody that their parents are bad people either. Okay? This is all a spectrum that a lot of parents find themselves on. They might not be aware of it, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people. I don't put people in categories of bad or good. I tend to, find out if people are, how healthy they are or how stable they are. So, this is meant to help you guys, and I hope it does. Let me know. So, all of this begins with caretakers. It begins with the caretakers. They are the ringleaders. If they're toxic, if they're narcissistic and abusive, and you are scapegoated by them and the rest of the family, it begins with the caretakers. And that's really important to remember, because you might have such irresponsible parents that they may not assume responsibility for anything. And they'll let your siblings abuse you, and they get it from their parents, they get it from them, and they allow it to continue, and they just go, it's not me, it's your sister. What are we going to do? And it's BS. It's BS. Narcissistic parents, the reason they're narcissistic is they carry a big void inside themselves. I've talked too much about this already, so I'm not going to dive into it, but whatever they didn't get as children, whatever they didn't get, whatever they needed and they didn't receive, causes a big void. Okay, this void is big, and they don't know how to fill it. It's never been filled. They look to each other to fill it. They look to other people to fill it. They don't do it themselves. They don't know how. They look to others, and yes, their own children. Their own children. So narcissistic parenting with children means that all their attention and focus isn't directed towards the child as it should be. It is directed towards their void. Okay? So it's narcissistic. It's all about me. I'm not here to provide your needs as a child. There's things I need from you as your parent. This means that you never develop, children like this, narcissistic parents, never develop into the person we were meant to be. The person we want to be. We become the person who they say we are. Okay? And that is value. We now have been placed value on us. Okay? This means that you, as a good son or daughter, is because you're doing what they want. You're there for them, right? But anything you do for yourself, or you want for yourself, or anything better in life, or if you leave to go to college or to school or to get a job, or you just leave, or you just don't do what they want all day long, is bad, son or daughter. Selfish. Okay? Parents are emotionally irresponsible. Narcissistic parents are emotionally irresponsible. They do not take responsibility. And I'm not talking about accountability for what they do. I'm talking about responsibility for their emotions to make themselves feel better. Siblings, your siblings in a toxic family like this, typically will also be emotionally irresponsible. They don't take responsibility for their feelings. They want you to. You become emotionally responsible for them, for all. The narcissistic parent's void that I talked about equals shame. Void, shame. Void, I have a void, I didn't get loved, I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get my parents' attention and things like this. I feel like a bad person. Shame. Narcissistic parents have a void and they carry shame. They believe they're a bad person, but they do not accept it because they are emotionally irresponsible. That's what I'm talking about. They do not accept their failures. They do not accept their bad feelings. They do not accept their mistakes. You are the bad person. I can't look at myself and accept these things, and therefore this is why toxic family never changes. Toxic family continuously invests in this false narrative. So everything becomes because of you, because of you. Because you'll see children do this and blame their parents for everything for the rest of their life. But parents will do this also to the scapegoated child. If it wasn't for that child, we would be like this. They wouldn't do like this. They didn't know I'm not bad, only they are bad. Now the family's great, bad child. You may become the lost child. So this family completely keeps investing in this false narrative. You're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. And that takes the attention off of them being bad, how they think about themselves. All you have to do is not even be there. And you're a horrible person. You can go from a great kid, leave the house, and now you're a horrible person. They never even seen or talked to you. I've seen it. So the whole family becomes so invested, they can't change. They invested. They're so deeply invested, and here you come along saying, why are you saying this about me? I'm not a bad person. Oh, yes, you are, because if you're not, what does that mean? If you're not the bad person, now it's directed back towards me. I hate myself. I don't look at myself, so it'll always be directed towards you. And we'll all gang up on you. Narcissistic bullying. Yeah? And this is why it stays like this, guys. This is why it doesn't get better. This is why after some time you go back and they all seem okay for the while, and then boom, they hit you with it. Yeah? You think that they said something nasty, they thought you were a bad person 10 years ago, now you're talking to them again, and they seem nice, yeah, they're nice, you guys are getting along now, a lot of the bad behaviors aren't coming up and surfacing yet again, but then one little bad thing happens and they drill you, they say, you're this, the same thing they said you were a long time ago. Or it might be the first time they accuse you of this, but it doesn't change. It never freaking changes. So if it doesn't, divorce your parents, divorce your family. And this really contradicts a lot of psychology and therapy, a lot of what therapists try to do with their clients. But I'm sorry, but there are families that just can't get along, right? And if we can admit that, there's some families that shouldn't be talking anymore, right? Then we can also say, maybe it's us, maybe it's my family. Because if it feels bad and you're doing all the work and all the, and they do nothing and you don't get anything, what's the point? Oh, they're family, blood's thicker than water. I don't know, whatever that means. So here's an interesting poll. I'd like you guys to tell me down below if you can. How many of you, and I'm just gonna quote it, I'm gonna say it fast, quick, and then I'll explain. How many of you have had an outside source or outside person come to your family and smear you, and they, one, immediately accept it, and two, pass it on? That is disgusting. Especially when you haven't even done anything. You haven't even done anything wrong. They can't really pinpoint anything. They just don't like you and say you're bad, blah, blah. And then someone comes along, an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, super, super toxic, because only toxic pieces of crap would ever do something like that. And they contact your family on the phone or just an email, and they've never met, they don't know each other, and this person just comes to them and says, your son, your daughter, your brother, you're just such an awful, horrible person, and they take their side, they believe him, and they tell other people that you do this. How freaking sick is that? How sick is that? And I don't even care if you do think they're a bad person, your family member. What are you doing? to someone that just come, you don't even know. And then you realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just supports their false narrative. And their false narrative isn't just about you're such a bad person. It's about that they aren't. That's all. And if someone comes along and validates their bullshit, let it. If you never see him or talk to him, it won't affect you. And that's my biggest suggestion, recommendation. Screw family like that. We choose our own family, people. Because if you can divorce, if you can make a legal binding agreement, marriage, right, and you can then change your mind and divorce them, then why can't you divorce your family that you never entered any kind of an agreement with? You're born into. And breaking up toxic families isn't bad for society. No, it's good to stop the cycle and start healthier families. That's what I'd like to see. Instead of toxic families and keep trying to mend it and fix it and mend it and fix it, never do, and just keep repeating it. Thanks, guys. Let me know what you think in that poll. Let me know what you think of this video, please. And always add your own experiences, comments, ask questions. I'll always answer them. Your guys' comments are great. It really makes these videos. So for those of you who like this video, and go down and read the comments. You're going to see some cool stuff. And I'm interested to see how the polls turn out. Thanks, guys. Love yourself first. I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.